Hello everybody, welcome back to Practically Perfect in Every Way. 皆さんこんにちは。Practically Perfect in Every Way へお帰りなさい。Today I'm working from home once again, so recording this during my lunch break. Once again, I am pre-recording this. So currently it's August here in Edinburgh, and during August we have this big event called Edinburgh Fringe. If you don't know what Edinburgh Fringe is, basically the whole city turns into like how can I say all the buildings and the streets becomes like the stage where people can perform plays, musicals, magic shows, comedy, and it just becomes like a full-on entertainment city, which is very entertaining and it's very cool, but also the city does get quite jam-packed. It is a bit of a nightmare trying to get to places, but yeah, it's been quite an interesting month here in Edinburgh. またこれは先取りしてるので、これが出てくる時にはもう秋とかになってるかもしれないですけど、エディンバラ今8月でしてね、私が今これを撮ってる時8月はエディンバラにとっては特別な月で、エディンバラフリンジっていうのが開催されるんですね。でフリンジ何かっていうと、街中がもうなんかこう舞台になるというか、街中がステージに変わって、あっちこっちの通りとか建物の中でお笑いとか劇とかミュージカルとかいろんなショーが行われるんです。とにかくもうエディンバラ一帯が芸術の街になるみたいな、すごく楽しいんですけど、楽しいのはもちろんのこと、人がすごいんですよね。なので街中で全然電波が通じなかったりとか、もともとエディンバラそんな大きい街じゃないので、こんな人いていいのっていうぐらい人が来て、あっちこっち行くのがちょっと大変なんですけども、でもね、すごく賑やかで楽しい1ヶ月ではあります。Anyways, this episode is going to be a very, very, very vulnerable / personal / sensitive topic that I'll be talking about. But before I start, disclaimer, if you are struggling with food, if you don't like the topic of eating disorders, trigger warning, please, you do not have to listen to this episode because I will be talking about those things. はい、今回のエピソードはですね、すごく私にとってはパーソナルな、ちょっと繊細なトピックについて話そうと思います。まず深く入っていく前にトリガーウォーニングということで、もしね、摂食障害とか、障害まではいかないけど、食べ物の話とか体重の話とかにちょっと繊細だよっていう方は全然無理して聞かないで大丈夫です。Anywho, so like I said, this week I wanted to talk about my relationship with food, which I'm not gonna lie, have been up and down, but it's been so incredible. This is one positive thing that I found about social media was finding people who talks about these topics and are very open about their struggles, and listening to their struggles and feeling like you're not alone. And so I wanted to also open up about it, although I do feel like if there's anyone listening from my personal life, would be quite surprising, because I think, I don't know, I'll talk about why, but I've never really put that out. I never spoke about it to anyone, and I think it's very different from the image you get of me, if that makes sense. But yeah, I have been struggling with it and I want to talk about it. 今日私がお話ししたいなと思うのは、食べ物や 摂食障害とか拒食障害とかありますけども、私はそこまでダイアグノーズされたわけではないんですけれども、一応食べ物とか体重に関してすごく苦労してきて、今でもまだちょっと苦労してる場面があるので、それについて話したいなと思って、自分がそういうので苦労してる中で、ソーシャルメディアの唯一良かったところが、それについて結構オープンに話してる方がたくさんいて、特に海外の方でね。でそういうの聞いてると、自分一人じゃないなって、おかしくないんだな自分って思えたので、そういった意味でもっといろんな人が話すことが大切かなって思ったので話します。で多分これを聞いている私のことを私生活で聞いてる人いるか分かんないけど、生活で知ってる人、私のこと知ってる人が聞いたらびっくりしちゃうんじゃないかと思うんですけど、それがね、病気じゃないけど、このマインドセットの怖いところというか、本当に傍からは分かんないんですよね、そういうことで苦労してるとか。なのでびっくりされちゃうかもしれないんですけど、多分私が外で見えてるイメージと全然違うと思うので、でもね、ちゃんと今日は話していきたいと思います。So, where to begin? I'm gonna start talking about where this whole toxic relationship with food started for me, and then I'm gonna get into, some of the, not symptoms, but some of the things I used to do back then, and what's changed now, and what I've been working on lately. So first of all, let's talk about how I developed a really toxic relationship with food. I think a lot of people who live in Asian countries and have Asian families will understand. It really starts with this whole idea of beauty standards being this really skinny girls are just so deeply ingrained in the society, and fat phobia is so deeply ingrained in the society. It's just it was just everywhere, and of course that was going to be ingrained in my brain because that's the kind of society I grew up in. So obviously, whenever I visited my relatives and stuff over the New Year's, I would hug them and they'd be like, "Oh my God, Rianne, you became very womanly," or "Oh, your body's fluffier." And a lot of my relatives made comments about my body. They never made comments about my brother, so this is an interesting thing, but they always made comments about my body. And I think that was definitely one of the things where every year I felt as if I had a physical check by this third person, constantly checking on my body if I'm not too fat, if I'm getting fat, if I've gained weight, if I lost weight. So that was one thing. And then obviously on TV and stuff, you just see all these skinny people all the time, and you see all this chubby people getting treated poorly, or chubby people being only being in comedy, and then pretty people, quote unquote pretty people, skinny people always being the cute one. It's that sort of fat phobia is very strong in Japan, I think, where I grew up in. So that was hard. And then lastly, I think it became very, very, very toxic in secondary school and high school, where obviously, kids are on puberty and there'll be love interests and crushes, and you wanted boys to like you, and there'll be hierarchies within school, and all the popular girls were all skinny. And I think it was the worst when we were in high school, And in Japan we have like this like school festival kind of thing every year annually, and all the girls, like literally all the girls, would go on a crazy diet. I had a girl who always had a tiny Tupperware full of lettuce, and that was her lunch every day. And you just see all these girls around you going on crazy diets for this school festival, because this school festival is where a lot of the guys come up to you, want to take pictures with you. And we also had like this beauty pageants within the school where pretty girls get selected and you vote for the top one, and all the pretty girls were like really skinny. Just all around, the culture that I grew up in was so fixated on weight and being skinny, and being skinny means you're pretty, and being pretty means you're popular. Being skinny means people like you. And it was just all that. And no wonder my brain went into, okay, I need to lose weight. I need to be able to fit into these jeans. I need to be able to wear tank tops and not feel insecure. And so gradually, ever since I was probably like 13, 14, I started dieting, and that's how it all started. 日本で育った方ならすごくわかると思うんですけど、日本ってやっぱりこうビューティースタンダードってなんてだ、こう美しさの基準っていうのがすごくこう体重に関わってる気がして、みんなすごくこう細くいることを大切にしてるから、そういった意味でテレビを見ててもやっぱり太ってる人は笑うネタになってて、痩せてる人は可愛いって言われてるみたいな、そういうコントラストがすごいあったし、こうあと例えば毎年ね、親戚のお家に行くとなんかここで親戚の人とハグすると、あ、太ったねとか言われたりとか、もちろんね親戚の人は多分悪気は全然ないんですけど、やっぱ日本ってそういう文化、特にアジアは結構そういう文化あると思うし、そんな食べていいのとか言われたりとかね。あとは一番私の中でやっぱこう影響が大きかったのは中学校高校の頃で、やっぱ中学生ぐらいになるとやっぱみんな思春期でね、男子に好かれるとかやだとかあるから、でこう学校の中で階級社会じゃないけどやっぱ人気な女の子たちのグループがあったりとかして、人気な女の子たちってやっぱり細いんですよね、みんなで。可愛いって言われてる子はみんな細いし、そういう子が人気だし、で高校に入った時は特に一番こう悪影響だったというか、こう結構自分の毎年ね文化祭があるじゃないですか、1年に1回。その文化祭に向けて女の子たちみんなものすごいダイエットをするんですよ。で私の周りの子もみんなしてて、なんかレタスちっちゃいタッパーにレタスだけ入れて持ってくる子とかもいたりとかして、それだけでお昼とか、そういう人が周りにいっぱいいるとやっぱ自分も痩せなきゃっていうマインドになってっちゃうんですよね、怖いことに。でやっぱ特にその高校の文化祭とかってあれミスコンとかもあるじゃないですか。こう、ね、細い可愛い子たちが投票で1位で選ばれるとか、なんかそういうのとかもあったりとかして、とにかくこう自分が好かれるかどうかが体重に左右されるみたいなのがすごくあって、しかも周りの子がみんなダイエットしてるから自分もしなきゃってなってて、そういうところからすごいなんかこう体重が気になっちゃうようになってったのかなって思います。So once I started dieting, obviously in the beginning it starts from researching about random different diets and stuff. And the scary thing about, I wouldn't say that I had eating disorder, but I definitely had disordered eating. The difference between that is that eating disorder is a proper properly diagnosed mental illness, whereas disordered eating is just a way of eating that's disordered. And I didn't go to the doctor for this, so I cannot claim that I had an eating disorder, but I definitely had disordered eating. And so the crazy thing about disordered eating or eating disorders is that you start putting these strict rules against your eating habits. So for me, it started off from I always need to have some sort of vegetable in my meal. No matter whatever that is, I always had to have a vegetable. And then I started cutting out carbs from my diet. So I was only allowed to eat carbs one meal a day. So if for some reason my mum made me pancakes in the morning, I would eat the pancake, but then for the rest of the day I would not eat anything with carbs. So I would just eat the salad, or I would just eat meat, and it really restricted things I can eat and I can't eat. And it was crazy. But I think the whole thing about disordered eating or eating disorders is that you just want to be in control of your body. So you would do whatever it takes to control your weight. And so I would control my meals, which, bless my mum, I drove her insane because I wouldn't eat the same thing my family was eating, and I would make a special meal for me, or make like, I don't know, low calorie rice for me, so that I didn't feel guilty eating those things. Yeah, awful. And then I would also have other rules where I wasn't allowed to eat after a certain time. I wasn't allowed to eat until certain times, so I was like fasting long enough. I always had to chew like 30 times before you swallow, or I had to always eat in a certain bowl. Things like that. So many different rules that you put against yourself. And also, it wasn't just eating, it was also workouts. So I would do crazy workouts every day at home. At that point, Blogolottes and all those like fitness YouTubers, Pilates YouTubers, really famous. So I would put on their video and I would like go crazy, and I always had to do at least one a day or something like that to burn off whatever I ate. And I think I am quite a perfectionist, so I stuck to that routine and I really did eat like that. And I also was in my tennis club, so I had to like run and play tennis after school and before school, and I was working out a lot but wasn't feeding my body enough. My period was so unstable and my moods were also really unstable. But I did lose weight. I did lose a lot of weight, and I was probably like, obviously this was in high school, but I was probably like 10 kilograms lighter than what I am now. But also the crazy thing about this whole mental thing is that it never feels like you've done enough. So even though I lost a lot of weight doing this whole shebang and this whole routine, I just kept feeling like I wasn't good enough and I wasn't losing as much as I wanted to lose. Yes, let's switch on to Japanese before I forget. So この拒食障害とか摂食障害っていうのはちゃんとこうダイグノーズ、お医者さんでねこう診断された人が使えるやつなので、私は診断はされてないので言いたくは私が摂食障害だったとかは言いたくないけど、でも 偏った食事、disordered eating って英語では言うんですけど、なんて言うんだろう、摂食的な食事の仕方をしてたっていうのかなのがあって、それはどういう感じで始まるかっていうと、まずダイエットっていう目的でいろいろルールを自分の中で作り始めたんですね。最初は一食に必ず野菜を食べなきゃダメっていうところから始まったりとかして、そこから1日で1回しか炭水化物食べちゃダメだから、朝お母さんがパンケーキとか作ってくれた日はもうお昼夜は絶対にご飯とかパンとかは絶対食べないとか、あとは何時から何時までしか食べちゃダメとか、とにかくいろんなルールを作って自分の食事を制限し始めたんですよ。で、あとそれに加えて運動もしてて、当時なんか YouTube のブロギロティスっていう人たちとか、こうピラティスとかやってる YouTube の人たちがすごい流行ってたから、そういう人たちの動画を1日必ず1本は運動するでやるとかルール決めて、でもう毎日だから食事と運動ですっごいいろいろ制限して、で当時私はもう受験生とかだったので、朝学校行って部活の朝練して、学校やって部活の午後練して、そこから走って塾行って塾の勉強して帰ってきて運動して寝るみたいな、もう頭がおかしいような生活をしてて、でその中でもお母さんにお弁当お願いだからご飯少なくしてねとか頼んで作ってもらってて、そのどんどん制限をして自分にかけていっちゃってたんですね。でそれでお母さんにもすごく迷惑をかけたし、こう家族とちょっと違うご飯を作ってもらったりとかしてたので、すごい迷惑をかけたんですけど、でももうこう頭がストイックになりすぎて、そのルールが達成できないとすごく自分が嫌になっちゃうんですよ。なのでそういった意味でどんどんなんかこう食べれるものが少なくなってって窮屈になってっちゃってたんですね。And this became a lot harder, obviously during my university entrance exams, and then also when my dad became quite mentally ill. Again, I don't really want to talk about this because this is my dad's life, but basically he wasn't feeling well mentally for a while, and for us to cheer him up, the only way was to take him outside so that he could just get some fresh air and refresh. But at that point it was very hard to get him excited, so the only way we could get him outside and get him excited was food. And so we would go to restaurants every weekend and we would eat dessert, and we would do that late at night, and every single weekend we were going out for food, which drove me insane because I lost all control of my food intake and what I was eating, and I wanted my dad to feel better and I wanted my dad to go outside, so obviously I can't say no and I'll come with him. But also in my mind I just felt terrible eating out every weekend and eating desserts, and then I would punish myself the next day or the Monday and just starve myself, and I would do something like that. Or it would flip on the other way and it would flip into me binging. So another scary thing about this, like I said in the intro, I think a lot of people around me would have not known that I struggled with this, because people would think that I'm this girl who just loves food and loves eating, and that is so true because I love food, and for me there's nothing more exciting than thinking about, oh, what do I have for breakfast, what do I have for lunch, la la la. I love food, and that is true. And so when I was going through all of this, I never really told anyone. My mum picked up on it, but I used to flip on my mum whenever she made comments about the way I was eating. I didn't want her to know. This is also a really scary, crazy thing, that you get really angry towards people when people come up to you and say, hey, are you okay? Like, you're not eating enough. Your brain just go, why would you say that to me when I'm working so hard? Why are you telling me that I'm not eating enough when I'm trying so hard not to eat too much? And so I used to flip on my mum a lot, which I feel really horrible about. So I used to do that. And like I said, I won't tell anyone about what I was going through, obviously, and I also didn't want anyone to know that I was dieting. So whenever I would go out for food with my friends, I would order like crazy stuff, like burgers and pizza, and I would eat crazy amounts because that was the only time I allowed myself to eat those kind of food, which is also known as binge eating. So whenever I had the chance, you know, you buy some snacks from the convenience store and you spread it out to watch a movie and stuff, I would go crazy on them because I would normally not allow myself to eat this thing when I'm alone. And it was just driving me insane. はい、ということで、この disordered eating っていうのは、もちろんそうやって自分の生活にこう制限をしていくっていうのもあったんですけど、あと他に大変だったのが人間関係がすごく難しくなったんですね。やっぱ人間って食べ物の上で関係成り立っている場合が多いような私は気がして、例えば私は父がちょっと鬱っぽくなっちゃった時に家族みんなで、父を外に出そうと頑張って毎週末家族で夜ご飯外食しに行ったりとかしてたんですね。私はもうそれがストレスで夜遅くにみんなで外に行ってご飯食べてデザート食べて帰ってこなきゃいけないっていうのが、もう自分がこう食べたいように食べれないのがストレスだったのと、もうコントロールしきれないのがストレスで食べちゃった分次の日制限しなきゃみたいなのをやってたりとか、あと友達とか誰にもこうダイエットとかしてることが恥ずかしくて言えなかったから、友達と遊ぶ時とかにご飯ってなったらなんか全然健康なものとか頼まないんですよ。逆にすごい不健康な高カロリーのものとかを頼んでこう悟られないようにみたいな。でそれが別にもう誰とは関係ないんですよね。大親友でもどれだけ距離が近くても無理だった。であとなんかお友達とお菓子パーティーとかした時とかね、自分普段お菓子なんて絶対自分で食べさせないから、その代わりそのお菓子パーティーになった時にもう普段食べれないから今のうちに食べとこうってものすっごい量食べちゃったりとか、ビンジイーティングって英語で言うんですけど、そういうことしちゃったりとか、あとはすごくこう人が自分の食べ方についてコメントした時にすごいなんかこうイラついちゃうんですよね。コメントするのは大体私の母だったんですけど、母が大丈夫って言って食べてないよって言ってくるのがもう腹立ってしょうがなくて、母にすごい噛みつくってね、あれだけど本当には噛みつかないんですけど、ガウこう言っちゃって、大丈夫って言われた時にこんなに必死に私はいろいろ頑張って制限してるのになんで私に食べさせようとするのっていうので、なんで分かってくれないのっていうのですっごい腹が立っちゃうんですよね。そういう感じで人間関係も難しくなるし、本当になんかこう窮屈な時期でした。 one turning point that I had, the moment that I realised that I can't do this anymore, was when I started my study abroad. When I started my study abroad, it was brilliant because I lived on my own for the first time in my life. So I had full control over food. And so I got to really stick to my rules. And I got to only eat salad every day. And it was fine. However, when I had full control over my food, it soon became unsustainable because I had this rule where I wasn't allowing myself to eat carbs, but when you're cooking for yourself, I only allowed myself to eat like soups and salads. And there would be just points where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And even though I was there to study abroad and learn about new things, learn about new cultures, meet new people, and I was focusing on that, but also in the back of my mind I was constantly thinking about food because I was just like, oh no, today this girl asked me to go to a cafe and I had a brownie, so now I can't eat my carbs of the day for dinner that I was saving tonight. What am I gonna make? And I was just, it was driving me insane, and I just felt like I can't do this anymore. And that's the moment I decided that I'm going to stop all of this. I'm going to stop dieting. I'm not going to listen to my body anymore. I don't trust my body anymore. このダイエット、このひどいダイエット地獄から抜け出すきっかけになったのがイギリスへの留学だったんですね。留学を始めた当初はもう最高だったんですよ。初めて一人暮らしをしたから全部食事を自分が管理できるし、毎日サラダ食べようと思えば食べれたからね。でもコントロールが行き過ぎたからこそ毎日なんかもう食べ物のことしか考えられなくなっちゃって、せっかく留学に来て、もちろん勉強も頑張ったし友達作りとかもいろいろしたし楽しんでたけど、でも結局こうなんか今日友達とカフェ行ってブラウニー食べようって言って食べちゃったから夜は何も食べれないなとか、そういうことをずっと考えるようになって、もう疲れちゃって、もうこれは維持できないなってプツンって切れた日があって、でその日からよしダイエットをもうやめようって思うようになりました。 It was very scary at first, letting go of all the control that you used to have, and just living like a normal human being. It was scary. Some of the things that really helped me when doing this was seeing loads of like posts about food freedom and intuitive eating on my social media. There's actually a YouTuber called Stephanie, what was her name? Stephanie something, that did this experiment with her body called all-in diet. And basically she was a fitness influencer, but instead of doing crazy cuts and fitness videos, she one day decided that this is it, like I don't want to diet anymore, so she decided to go all in, and she just let herself eat whatever she wanted. She still kept working out and still had her usual fitness routine, but she just went all in and she just let herself eat whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted. And she was documenting the physical changes that happened to her body. And at one point she did put on a lot of weight, but you see her weight just plateau, and from then it stopped moving. No matter how much she ate, her weight was very stable, and at one point she just stopped craving all those stuff because she wasn't restricting anymore. And watching those videos made me feel like, okay, maybe this is what I need. Maybe I need to stop restricting so that I don't feel like, oh my god, this food is good and this food is bad and I can't eat bad foods. So whenever I get the chance to eat bad foods, I'm gonna make the most of it and eat as many as I can. But when I don't, I will never touch them. Like those terrible, terrible restrictive thinking. Watching a video made me feel like, okay, maybe I can do this without losing full control over my body, staying healthy, but doing it for the right reason. So I decided to do the same. I still worked out because I do enjoy working out. I like running and I like lifting weights, so I still did that, but I stopped controlling my food. I ate carbs every single meal, and I ate until I was full. I would allow myself snacks if I want, sweets, crisps, anything that I've ever wanted. And it's scary, it's very scary, because all these years of hard work, you're just letting go of. But soon after I started doing that, obviously I gained some weight. But then, like Stephanie's video, my weight plateaued at one point. It stopped moving around. And no matter how much I ate, if I go on trips and overeat, I come home to the exact same weight all the time. It's fascinating what your body does. And this weight is so easy to maintain because I never have to think about food. I just eat whatever I want, whenever I want. When I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm full, I don't eat. And when I'm craving something, I eat exactly what I'm craving. Instead of giving myself, I don't know, calorie zero jellies when I want a bar of chocolate, I'll give myself a bar of chocolate. And it was like magic. My weight just completely plateaued and it never moved anymore. And I stopped thinking about food so much, and I stopped fixating on, oh, what happens if I eat this now? Like, oh no, I ate this. Oh no, today I didn't work out. Da 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 da. I just was able to trust my body again. And like I said, I still work out. I still enjoy working out. But workouts mean something completely different for me now. It's not about like being able to burn as many calories as possible. It used to be that way, but not anymore. I literally work out for fun. I know, it sounds crazy, but I work out because it makes me feel really good, like mentally refreshed by sweating and moving my body. And I work out because I want to be stronger. It makes me feel incredible when I can lift weights that I've never been able to even like lift from the floor, or like do different moves, or be more flexible, or run longer distances. I just do it because it's fun for me. I don't do it for calories anymore, which is so liberating and it's so fun and it motivates me. And honestly, I think I look at my body and I don't think it's ever looked this good. And bear with me, I've gained like 10 kilos from my lowest weight. And this is the biggest I've ever been. But I think I look the best this way. And it's all because I have food freedom now. And I get to work out for fun. And I enjoy it, so it actually lasts longer. You know, my motivation to work out. And I think that was really the key to achieving actually healthy diet and healthy workout routines. ちょっとどっから英語で喋ってたか分かんなくなっちゃったんですけど、言ったっけ、留学の時に何でも自分でコントロールできちゃうからもう無理ってなって、でそっからもうダイエットとかそういうのやめようって決心してやめたんですよ。でそれをやってる時に結構勇気をもらったのが YouTuber のなんて人だっけ、ステファニー・バタモーっていう YouTuber の方がいて、その方はボディービルダーの大会とかに出てるようなフィットネスの方だったんですけど、彼女も結構そういう食べ物とのリレーションシップにすごく苦労された方で、彼女ももうこれ以上制限とかしたくないっていうことで、彼女自分の体を実験台にしてもう一切食事制限をしないで自分が食べたいように食べたいものを食べるようになったらどうなるのかっていう実験をし始めたんですよ。でそれをYouTube に記録してってどうなったかっていうと、確かに彼女すごく途中で体重が増えたんですけれども、結局体重がどんどん食事は変えてないのに落ちるようになって、ある一定のところでこうピタッと体重が止まったんですね。で結局そこからはもう何を食べようがどんな食生活って言ってももちろんそれはこうバランスのいい食事ですけど、自分が食べたいものをしっかり食べてもその体重からは動かないっていう風になってっていうのをすごい記録されてる方がいて、でそれを見てて私もこれをやればいいんだと思って、そこから私も自分のこうなんていうんだろう、食べたい欲に耳を傾けるようになって、自分の体に耳を傾けるようになって、なんか今日はこういうご飯が食べたいから今日はこういうご飯食べる、今日はパスタ食べたいから今日はパスタ食べるとか、もう一切制限をしないで食べたい時に食べたいものを食べるようにしてみたんですね。そしたら本当に体重はすごく増えたけど、あるところでピタッと止まったんですよ。でもそこから動かなくなって、たとえ旅行に行って毎日アイス食べてケーキ食べて帰ってきたとしても、もうその体重から動いてないんです。人間の体って本当不思議なもので、それができるようになって、でもちろんまだ運動はしてるんですけど、運動する意味もすごく変わって、こうなんかジムとか行ったりランニングとかするのすごく好きなんですけど、最近はもう全然カロリーのためにやったりとかは一切しないで、本当に純粋になんか頭すっきりするからとか楽しいから、こう今まで持つこともできなかったような重さのウェイトをスクワットできたりとか、そういうのがすごいなんかうおーって自分強って思えるから楽しくて、そういうのでやってるから。でもそういうことでやるから長続きするんですよ。なんかジム行くの億劫だなって思ったこともないし、楽しみにジムに行けるというか、そういう意味で運動との向き合い方も変わったし、食べ物との向き合い方も変わったし、もう私の中でこの食べ物は悪い、この食べ物はいいとかそういうのは一切なくて、いい悪いでカテゴリーに入れないから、どんな食べ物も別に食べて大丈夫。食べたい時に自分の体が欲しているものを信じて食べれば大丈夫っていう風に。ただバランスはちゃんとよく考えるけど、こう今までは炭水化物ここで食べちゃったから炭水化物ここでは食べないみたいな引き算のダイエットをしてたんですけど、そうじゃなくて、例えば今日はじゃあすごくポテチが食べたいみたいな気分だったらポテチを食べて、でじゃあポテチだけだと油と 炭水化物しかないから、じゃあその横にちょっとベリーを寄せようとか、その横にヨーグルトもつけようとか、足し算をする食事、もっとより栄養を取るにはどうしたらいいかっていう食事にするようになりました。でびっくりすることに、私今多分当時高校生だったけど、一番細かった自分より多分10キロぐらい太ったんですよ。でも今の自分ってなんか今までで一番なんかいいじゃんって自信が持てる自分になったというか、今までどんだけダイエットしてももう自分デブだなってしか思えなかったんですけど、今の自分になってやっとなんかいいんじゃないって思えるようになったんですよね。それもなんかすごくメンタルの面白いところだなって思うんですけど、そんな風になってったわけなんです。 And I'm not saying that now I have zero problems with food. Obviously there are days where I see pictures of myself and I feel like, oh my god, what's happened to my body, and I get like triggered and frustrated. There are some days where I feel like really bloated and like, oh no, I'm getting weight, maybe I'm not in the plateau weight anymore, or like, I'm not saying the progress is linear and it's gonna be one straight line. It's not. There are days where I feel really crap about my body, but overall it's been incredible being able to learn about this and being able to realize that, hey, like, actually our bodies are way smarter than we think it is, and we shouldn't restrict our bodies. We should allow them and listen to them and really embrace what they're trying to tell us and do as they tell us to, because our bodies know best. And I now see that there's so much more to this life than being skinny. The fact that I get to run for 10 kilometers listening to my favorite podcast and see loads of new sceneries and meet cute dogs, it's incredible. The fact that I get to lift really heavy weights and lift heavy bags and not feel tired at all, it's so cool. The fact that I get to enjoy food with my friends without thinking about calories and thinking about, how am I going to compensate for this after this, is so liberating. And I'm not saying that overall, like, dieting is bad. I know there are some people who has to do it for their health, but please don't underestimate your body. Please don't talk rubbish about your body, because your body is way cooler than you think, and your body knows way more than you think. And maybe those numbers on the scale don't define how pretty you are and how smart you are and how capable you are of achieving things in this world, and there are so many other things to focus on. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. 最後に言いたかったのは、もちろんね、このなんか話し方的にもう私はこれ以上もう何でも食べれて体重も変わんなくても最高みたいな感じに聞こえますけど、もちろんこういうのの回復ってね、お酒をやめたりとかタバコをやめたりとかそういうのと一緒で、一直線にこう改善されるわけじゃなくて、こう行ったり来たり前進したり、たまには一日一歩右側で3歩違う一歩進んで2歩下がるみたいな日もあって、こうたまにね、こう友達から送られてきた自分の写真を見て、こんなの自分って落ち込む日もあるし、ソーシャルメディアでなんか見かけた子と比べて、自分 こんな細くないよなとか思っちゃう日もあるし、まだまだこう改善しなきゃいけないところあるんですけど、でもね、その留学とかしてた当時に比べたらものすごいこう生きやすくなったなって思います。もちろんね、こう病気とか本当健康の関係でダイエットしなきゃいけないっていう人もいると思うけど、もうちょっと世の中的にこう体重計の数字が何にも意味しない世の中になってくれたらいいのになって思います。体重計の数字なんかよりあなたの体ができること、走れること、重いもの持ち上げられること、誰かに優しくできることとか、そういったことにフォーカスが当たってったらいいなって思います。 Anyways, that was today's episode. I know it was really long. You must be bored by this point, but it is a really important topic for me, and for me it is something that takes a lot of courage to open up about, and I am a little bit nervous about posting this episode, but if it's going to save any of you out there, maybe it's worth it. Even one of you, it's worth it, because the change I've seen in this past couple of years in terms of my relationship with food really changed my life. So yeah, I hope it helps at least someone out there. ということで、今日はちょっと長めになってしまったのですが、こんなちょっと重ためのトピックについてお話をしてみました。ちょっとこういう話をするのは勇気がいるけど、自分もね、こうやってソーシャルメディアで話している人に助けられたものなので、自分が話すことでまたいい影響がね、こう広がってって、誰かが助けられたってなったら嬉しいなーなんて思ってお話をしてみました。 Thank you so much for listening, if you've listened all the way through. I know it was very long, but I hope you have a lovely, lovely, lovely week, and I hope to see you next week once again. 今週もまた聞いてもらってありがとうございました。聞いてくれて聞いてくれて、日本語がもうズタズタだよ。何やと思ったんだっけ。またね、来週もお会いできることを楽しみにしております。 Have a lovely week, everyone. Bye bye. This week I'll be singing Indian Summer by Stereophonics. 今週はステレオフォニックスのインディアンサマーを歌います。My colleague told me, I was listening to this song because obviously it's so catchy and all that, but I never realized what actually an Indian summer is. And the other day, my colleague explained to me what it was, but basically, apparently it's summer, correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently it's this like a little bit of heat wave that you get right at the end of summer where you thought that, oh, you're going into winter, but then actually summer was still there, that kind of vibe. Which I thought was like, wow, I didn't know that's what the song was trying to say. So yeah, that's why, because I've learned what Indian summer is, I decided to sing it this week. 今までインディアンサマー言ったよね。そう、ステレオフォニックスのインディアンサマーを歌うんですけど、インディアンサマーって今まで全然意味知らなかったんですけど、この前アメリカ人の同僚さんがインディアンサマーっていうのを説明してくれてて、こう秋になったかなって思った頃に突然やってくる最後のちょっとした夏みたいなのをインディアンサマーってアメリカでは読むらしくて、へーってなるほどねと思ったんですけど、なのでこの曲がそんなことを歌っているのかと思い、今日歌ってみることにしました。I hope you enjoy. time that I see her, the lightning bolt fills the room. The underbelly of Paris sings a favorite tune. She'll drink you under the table, she'll show you a trick or two. And every time that I left her, I missed the things she would do. 'Cause she was the one for me. She opened my eye to see, 'cause she was the one for me. Alright. It was a cold September before the Indian summer. That's the thing I remember, when she gave me a number. Went from station to station on a train across the nation. And the rain of November, that's the time that we needed. She was the one for me. Alright. Vodka with Coca-Cola, cocaine tucked in her shoes, cigarettes over coffee, halo slipped to the news. Take the slow boat to China, fly it right around the moon. She could take it or leave it, it had to end soon. 'Cause she was the one for me. She opened my eyes to see, she was the one for me. Alright. It was a cold September before the Indian summer. That's the thing I remember, when she gave me her number. Went from station to station on the train across the nation. And the rain of November, that's the time that we needed. 'Cause she was the one for me. She opened my eyes to see, 'cause she was the one